Hello everyone, welcome back to ITPK. In today's video, we are going to see how to use filters for devices as a condition in conditional access policy with Microsoft Intune. When creating a conditional access policy, administrators can now use filters to target or exclude specific property or device in their environment. Filters for devices are a great method for filtering devices based on Azure AD device properties. In the previous video, we have used the device state option while creating the conditional access policy. By using filters for the devices, it is possible to not only filter devices based on device state, but also on many other device properties. Those device properties enables IT administrators to specifically exclude or include devices based on the value of those properties. Filters for devices are not reusable and are configured and used as per conditional access policy. When configuring and using filters for the devices, it is important to keep in mind that those filters are based on Azure AD device properties. There are multiple scenarios that organizations can now enable using filter for devices condition. For example, suppose if you want to restrict or block access to resources of the organization for the device that have unsupported operating system installed. For this example, let's say you want to block access from the device that have unsupported Windows version or older Windows version. For this scenario, we want to create new conditional access policy with filters for devices. Let's see how we can do that. First of all, you need to sign in Microsoft Endpoint Manager using the URL intune.microsoft.com, and you must have a global administrator account to set up this conditional access policy using filters for the devices. Once you are logged in into Intune, let's go to devices. In the devices section, let's go to all devices. And here we can see our all devices are compliant and running on 20H2 version. And the Windows version of these devices are 19045. So these devices are running on Windows 11 22H2 version, right? We will set up a conditional access policy based on these Windows devices. We will set up the OS version should be at least 22H2 and the operating system should be 1905. We must also go to the group and create a test group to check this conditional access policies filters later on. So just for your understanding, let me create a test group. Okay, we have created the group. To create the conditional access policy, let's first go to endpoint security. In the endpoint security, scroll a little down and find here conditional access policy and go to create new policy. Type a meaningful name for your policy. I have typed a name, conditional access policy with filters for devices. Under assignment, click on zero users and group. Selected link to configure the identities in the directory that the policies applies to. On the include tab, please include the users and group you want to include here. I have selected the select users and group, and then I will select the users and group page. And if you remember, we have created a group few minutes ago, device based filter conditional access. So I've selected this group. Now let's go to the target resources where we have to select cloud apps or resources under the assignment. Make sure this policy is applied to cloud apps and cloud apps is selected here. Under include tab, we will go to select tab option. Under select app, scroll a little down and click on none link. And in select cloud apps, now from the list, you can select any app to test this requirement for you, right? So I am basically selecting Office 365 that will include all Office 365 applications, Microsoft Teams, Exchange Online, SharePoint, Yammer, Flow, or Microsoft Forms. So let me select that. The next option we have here to configure conditions. So click on zero conditions selected. And finally, under these conditions, we can see filter for devices. Click on the not configured link under filter for devices. Let me toggle the switch to yes. Yeah. Make sure the devices matches the rule will be exclude filter devices from policies. Then for the rule, we will select operating system property type. Let's type here operating system version, and in the operator we will select starts with, and in the property we will enter the value of the version we have for our devices. If you remember that, let me get that value quickly because I don't remember that. Okay, let's go ahead and paste this value we want operating system version start with. So please remove 4955 here, and we can see the rule syntax is created down. This is the syntax for our filter for devices. Once your filter is ready, you can go ahead and click on done. That's perfect. So for our Office 365 applications, we have set up the filter for the device's operating system variant that will start from this value. Will be able to access our Office 365 applications. Those are mentioned earlier. I have shown by selecting that app. That's perfect. So under this value, devices will not be able to access Office 365 application, or under this Windows variant, devices will not be able to access that app which we have selected. Okay, now under access control and under the submenu grant, click on zero control selected, and here we supposed to click on block access and click select. So as per our requirement, we have configured the conditional access policy. Now confirm your all of the settings and select policy, enable policy to on, and then click on the create to create this policy within few seconds. So this policy will be created in few seconds here. In the policies, let's go to and find CA policies with filter for devices. That's perfect. Usually this will take some time to apply this conditional access policy to your devices or the devices that are included in their specific group which you have selected here. So once this policy will be applied to your devices, please note that the filter we have selected here, that the operating system variants that will start from this variant to H2 Windows 11, and the variant will be 19045, that will be able to access those Microsoft 365 applications which we have selected in the application target resources, and the devices under that defined OS variant will not be able to access all of these applications according to our conditional access policy. Okay, so once you will try to access any of Microsoft 365 application, those are in the list of Office 365 app when we are setting up conditional access policy. So when you try to access those from the device which have the version or operating system version lower than the version we have defined or we have filtered in our conditional access policy, you will get an error here that sign in was successful but does not meet the criteria to access this resource. For example, you might be signing in from browser, app, or the location that is restricted by your admin. So this OS variant is basically not the supported OS variant to get access to the application that we have defined in conditional access policy. And according to our conditional access policy, it will only grant access to the devices that meet our OS variant minimum requirement that we have set up in conditional access policy. Also, when in the conditional access policy monitoring, when you will go ahead and you will find the failure or the reason for login that your device doesn't have supported OS version and was not able to log in into Office 365 application, you will see that device not matched, device ID not matched. You will get this error because this device doesn't have the OS version that is defined by us in the conditional access policy using device-based filters. So this device was not able to log in into Office apps. That's it about today's video. I hope you understand this simple and to the point video. Thanks for watching. Keep watching and don't forget to subscribe ITPK. Take care. Bye.